Hello, Georgia 551. Don't expect too many videos from here. We are going to see how the store closure is happening here at Sears Pheasant Mall, Nashua, New Hampshire. Little fun fact. This facade right here is at a 45-degree angle with the rest of the mall because right outside of it is Massachusetts. Behind the wall is New Hampshire. And they would have to pay taxes if they kept the mall going straight. So this whole 45-degree bend is to avoid paying taxes in Massachusetts. They still have the old antenna stack on top of the building. Anyway, I'm not like Dan Bell or Sal or Retail Archaeology where I can do this all the time. This is somewhat close to work, but a little bit out of the way, so I'm planning to do this video if things go well, then probably do one a few, 2 or 3 days before the last and final day. Otherwise, I'll stick to the home one at Whitney Field. So, let's go in and see what's going. It seems to be an area rug thing going on, because oh, goody, cross the street time. And this guy's letting me go, and this guy's letting me go. That wasn't a thing in Leominster. It doesn't seem to be a thing here either. Just brought in. Let's see what happens. Once again, we're hitting another Sears. This one I'm not as familiar with the layout as the Whitney Field one. But they have a different way of laying things out. In this particular one, they move everything towards the aisles, and then the further back and away you go from them, as you can see here, it becomes empty. So this store has emptied out quite a bit. And again, we're trying not to get people on, and there will be some oddball camera movements to avoid the employees. But here we are, the back portion of Sears where everything is empty, and then as you head towards the aisles it looks more full. And surprise, somebody was there. Anyway, men's clothing, what we could see of it, and sometimes we had to make some oddball crossovers to see other stuff. Here's one aisle in which one side is entirely empty, just has some fixtures. Got a couple of mannequins over there, more fixtures here. Headless mannequins. And these aisles were a little tight for the very narrow view that the flip cam has. It has a kind of a zoomed in look, so it's hard to try and make the place look as empty as it really is. But we try to find some angles where we can show that. And as you can see there, the shelves are pretty empty. And that goes to the pickup area, which there was nothing to really show. Had to stop the video for a little bit because we hit a dead end. The way the store is laid out, there was kind of a dead end right there, and we had to double back. And as you can see, we're moving a little faster because, once again, we've seen this part, except for those signs, and heading towards another part of the second floor, which is where we have started. The parking lot where we parked in was actually, it meets up to the second floor of the store. Here again, we got the Land's End department, and this one is very empty. It also is fairly small compared to the one in Leominster at Whitney Field. And then again, here's a completely emptied section with a lot of mannequins. Bottom ones as well. Pretty much nothing here, just fixturing, and a ton more mannequins here. Some more shelving that's taken apart. More fixtures. They pretty much, like I said, they move everything towards the aisles to give you the impression that the store is more full than what it really is. Here we are, men's jackets, one on the floor. Typical thing you see in these store closings. Lack of respect by the customers, just throwing things around, as well as lack of maintenance from the employees themselves, because who cares pretty much. And then the women's clothing, pretty much randomly placed. Women's clothes there, jackets, more emptiness. There's quite a bit of that here in this particular store, and a whole ton of mannequins. You could have a mannequin army in your home if you really want to buy a ton of them. There's what little exists of jewelry, and there. Very few watch bands and other stuff. Because I'm not a jewelry expert, so some of the things, I'm not sure what they are. And yet again, more empty shelves in the shoe department. Some of the shoes don't even have a pair. So people probably just have a pair of shoes they've bought here or have a similar pair. One was going bad, just swap it out and get away with it. Really nice. And again, we're making our way around to the jewelry area. Again, lots of empty fixtures. And like I said, not saying as much because I don't know the general areas where things are outside of this jewelry department, which is pretty obvious. And then we get into more of the shoe department, and then we kind of stop right around here because then we get into the kids department, and there's quite a few kids around, so we don't go because we don't want to cause a scene, as if doing this doesn't really cause one. And then women's unmentionables, as some people would call them, way over the back, so we kind of skip it. Women's jackets here. And again, we look at some more fixtures, more mannequins, some jewelry, more fixtures, some more jewelry. And some of this is we're just double backing, because like I said before, there's dead ends, so we kind of backtrack so we can get to new areas as we show more empty shelves. And that's the second floor of Sears. So let's see what's at the first floor. We have now reached the bottom floor, and this is the first level. And right away on the far right, similar to what I've seen at Whitney Field, apparently an area rug thing, which again, I don't think Sears actually did that, and they're just renting space so people can get rid of these carpets. We don't get too good of a view of those because there were people in the middle of the display looking at the carpets. So you get a side view here and there, along with some Kenmore appliances that are in the middle of the floor, some bedding, and there's the Kenmore area. It's very empty. About half of it is completely void of any product. There's the carpets again. Once again, there were people over there, so we kind of tried to avoid getting them on camera. Unlike Whitney Field, the bedding department actually has some holes here. In Leominster, not so much. And then this is just randomness. Complete, utter randomness, and store fixturing just packed together really tight. Can't even tell what department this is masquerading as because it's hard to tell. So we turn around again, Got some appliances here, small ones. Again, like we said, it's just very random. No rhyme, no reason. They're just pushing things towards the aisles as they clear the back walls. Cookware, something that actually made sense. Toy department, well, there are toys. And there they are. Have to back up a bit because the field of view of the flip cam, as I've mentioned before, fairly narrow. So we have to back up quite a bit. And jeans. Looks like kids' clothes again. Once again, random. Once again, kids, so we try to move fast. Ton of kids' clothing over there. Again, just trying to move fast. Because there were kids around. And again, we're trying to do the oddball camera angles. You see the rotation. That was to, again, avoid kids. Then we get into, once again, the appliances. Very, very empty. And there's even less over there. So we got air conditioners randomly thrown on these shelves. Boxed items, microwaves, small refrigerators. Being chased by an employee, but not because they saw what I was doing. Just happened to be going the same place at the same time. Vacuum cleaners. And at this point they were done following me. It just seemed they were following me. It just was he was putting stuff down on the floor pretty much where I was. You can kind of see what's left of the Christmas display that we just passed, and now the mock-up area for the home appliances. Pretty much almost bare. Very few microwaves mounted to the shelving units. Very few ovens and dishwashers in their cubby holes. Then it gets kind of sad over here because we get to tools in the craftsman area, although craftsman's a little further along, but again, just vast emptiness. This place is emptying out pretty quick. Got a few barbecue grills just dotting the landscape. And now we enter the craftsman area. Once we take a look at what very few pieces of exercise equipment remain. And again, they left up the Christmas tree displays because, well, they're closing. Then we kind of get a look into the automotive center and a few products. As you can see, it's closed off. So we just get a look. Then back to Craftsman once we go through the exercise equipment that is very scarce in quantity. Very little lawn equipment there. Riding lawnmower. And now the Craftsman tools. What little exists. Now there was another person here, so we just went around and we peeked around a corner just to get enough to see what's there and not get them clearly in the video. Got some bins with thrown stuff in there. Some tools, obviously, because it's the Craftsman tool area. Looked like socket sets that we passed by. Some shelves did have stuff on them, so we came around and looked. Then we turn around here, and this is where we take a slow peek to the side, but not all the way over because somebody was there. And again, just some boxes that are just on the floor. There's another look at what little exists in the lawn care and the other things. And back once again at the appliances, the rugs, and that is what we have here as we exit the first floor. And that's what we got at Sears, Pheasant Lane Mall, Nashua, New Hampshire. Sad to say, it's really emptying out, and it's gonna go soon. George F551 saying, hope you enjoyed and have a good one.